1. Midnight at the airport. I had a red-eye flight, and the airport was nearly deserted. As I walked to my gate, I noticed a figure in the distance, waving at me. Curious, I approached, but the figure vanished. I asked a security guard if he had seen anyone, and he just stared at me blankly. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and I heard an announcement. Flight 666 is now boarding. Confused, I checked my ticket, which now read Flight 666. I turned to the gate, and the same figure reappeared, smiling sinisterly. "Welcome to your final destination," it said, as the gate doors closed behind me. 2. The neighbor's house. I always wondered what my reclusive neighbor was hiding in his house. One night, I saw him leave and decided to investigate. The door creaked open, and I stepped into a dimly lit hallway. Strange symbols adorned the walls, and the air smelled of decay. I found a locked room and managed to pry it open, revealing a hidden basement. Descending the stairs, I discovered an array of bizarre artifacts and a journal detailing dark rituals. Suddenly, the basement door slammed shut, and I heard my neighbor's voice behind me. "I knew you couldn't resist. Now you can join the others." 3. The girlfriend's secret. I decided to surprise my girlfriend by visiting her unannounced. Her house was dark, and the door was unlocked. I walked in, calling her name, but there was no response. Exploring the house, I stumbled upon a room I had never seen before. Inside, there were photos of me taken from various angles and at different times, plastered all over the walls. Panic set in as I realized she had been stalking me. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and I heard her voice behind me. "I knew you'd find out eventually. Now we can be together forever." 4. Formula One nightmare. I had always dreamed of watching a Formula One race live. The roar of the engines and the smell of burning rubber were exhilarating. As I watched the cars zoom by, I noticed one driver looking directly at me, his eyes filled with fear. The car suddenly veered off track, crashing into the barrier. Rushing to the scene, I was shocked to see the driver was me. The crowd gasped, and I felt a strange pull, like I was being drawn into the wreckage. Before I could react, I was standing in the driver's seat, looking at my own lifeless body. 5. Fortnite frenzy. Playing Fortnite late into the night, I was in the zone. My team and I were down to the final battle, and the tension was high. Suddenly, my screen glitched, and I found myself in the game. The graphics were hyper-realistic, and I could feel the weight of the gun in my hands. As I navigated the battlefield, I realized I couldn't log out. My teammates turned on me, their eyes glowing red. "Welcome to the real game," they chanted. I fought desperately, but in the end, I was cornered. The last thing I saw was the game over screen, with my face reflected on it. 6. The haunted pool. I decided to take a midnight swim to relax. The pool was eerily calm, the water perfectly still. As I swam, I felt something brush against my leg. I looked down but saw nothing. Suddenly, I felt a cold hand grip my ankle, pulling me under. Struggling to break free, I saw ghostly faces swirling beneath the surface, their eyes hollow and accusing. I managed to resurface, gasping for air, but the pool was now filled with shadowy figures. I scrambled out, but one figure followed, whispering, "You belong with us now." I turned to run, but the pool had disappeared, replaced by an endless, dark abyss. 7. The runway haunt. Working late shifts at the airport runway, I enjoyed the solitude. One night, I saw an old plane taxiing down the runway. It was an antique model, long out of service. Curious, I approached it, and the door creaked open. Inside, the seats were filled with ghostly passengers, their eyes vacant. The captain turned to me and said, "We've been waiting for our final crew member." Before I could react, the door slammed shut, and the plane took off. The last thing I saw was the terminal lights fading as we ascended into the darkness. 8th, the elevator. Working late in my office building, I decided to take the elevator down to the parking garage. As the doors closed, I felt a sudden chill. The elevator started descending, but then it jerked to a stop between floors. The lights flickered, and the emergency phone was dead. I pressed the alarm button, but there was no response. Suddenly, the elevator shuddered and continued down, past the garage level, into darkness. The doors opened to a dimly lit, unfamiliar floor. I stepped out, hearing distant whispers and footsteps. As I turned to get back in the elevator, the doors slammed shut, trapping me. A voice echoed through the corridor, "Welcome to your final stop." 9. The Gamer's Curse. Playing a new horror game late at night, I was immersed in its chilling atmosphere. The game's antagonist, a shadowy figure, seemed to know my every move. As I progressed, the figure grew more menacing, whispering my name. Suddenly, the game froze, and the shadowy figure appeared on my screen, grinning. "I see you," it said, and my room went dark. The figure stepped out of the screen, its eyes glowing red. I tried to run, but my body wouldn't move. The last thing I heard was its whisper, "Now, you're part of the game." 10. The Abyss. Diving into the crystal-clear pool, I felt weightless and free. As I swam deeper, the water grew colder, and the light above me dimmed. I tried to resurface, but something held me down. Looking around, I saw shadowy figures surrounding me, their eyes glowing eerily. They whispered my name, their voices echoing in the water. I struggled, but the more I fought, the tighter their grip became. Suddenly, I was pulled into a dark abyss, the pool's surface disappearing above me. The last thing I saw was my own reflection in the water, my eyes glowing just like theirs. Thank you for watching, especially to the subscribers, for supporting our stories. What story do you like the most? For more short stories under 10 minutes, click on the video on your screen, or if you want longer stories based on real-life events or fictionals, click on the playlist appearing on your screen now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling tales. See you in the next video.